Why people refuse to pay their debt in 2025. You know, debt is one of those things that almost everyone has, but nobody really wants to talk about. It's like a shadow that follows you everywhere. In 2025, debt has become such a normal part of life. Credit cards, student loans, car payments, buy now, pay later apps, that people don't even flinch when they hear the word anymore. But here's the catch. More and more people are starting to refuse to pay it back. Not because they can't, sometimes they just won't. Today, I want to take you through the real reasons why. And I'm not just talking about statistics or numbers. I'm going to tell you the stories behind this decision. The pressure cooker of 2025. Imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table late at night. Your phone is buzzing with notifications from the bank, from lenders, from apps reminding you of payments due. You already worked all week, but your paycheck didn't even last 3 days. The rent went up again, groceries are more expensive than ever, and that little emergency with your car ate up everything you had saved. At this point, debt doesn't feel like a choice anymore. It feels like a trap. And some people just decide not to play the game. They say, you know what, I'm done. They can call me, email me, threaten me, but I'm not paying. This is not laziness, it's survival. In one, cost of living versus wages. Here's the first reason people refuse to pay. The cost of living has skyrocketed while salaries stayed stuck. Think about it. If you're working full-time, maybe even 2 jobs, but you still can't cover basic needs, debt repayments start to look like a luxury. I know a guy named Amir. He used to pay his credit card bill on time, every time. But last year, his landlord raised the rent by 20%. Suddenly, that money he used to send to his credit card company, it was going to keep a roof over his family's head. When you're forced to choose between feeding your kids and paying Visa, the choice doesn't feel like a choice at all. Reason 2, the silent protest. Another reason people refuse to pay is that it's become a form of silent protest. Think about it. Banks make billions in profit, CEOs take home millions in bonuses, but the average person is drowning in interest fees. Some people just say, enough. Why should I keep paying when the system is designed to keep me broke? There's a kind of quiet rebellion happening. It's not about marching in the streets or breaking windows. It's about ignoring the phone calls, tossing the bills in the trash, and walking away. Reason 3, mental health burnout. Debt isn't just about money, it's about mental weight. Sleepless nights, constant stress, the guilt of falling behind. Over time, people just shut down. I remember talking to a woman named Sarah. She had 3 different loans, 2 credit cards, and a stack of medical bills. At first, she tried to juggle them all. But every time she made a payment, it felt like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. One day, she just stopped. Not because she didn't care, but because she couldn't handle the anxiety anymore. For her, refusing to pay was like taking her life back. Reason 4, the catch me if you can attitude. In 2025, a lot of people have figured out that debt collection isn't as scary as it used to be. They know the loopholes, they know the laws. Some even think, what's the worst that can happen? They'll send letters, they'll call, fine, let them. This isn't about desperation, it's about strategy. Some borrowers know that after a certain number of years, the debt gets written off anyway. So instead of panicking, they play the waiting game. It's a dangerous game, sure. But for many, it feels smarter than handing over every last dollar. Reason 5, broken promises. Here's another reason people refuse to pay. They don't trust the system anymore. Governments promised relief. Banks promised affordable plans. Credit companies promised flexibility. But when the pandemic hit, when inflation exploded, when recessions came and went, who bailed out the everyday people? Not the banks, not the lenders. So now people have flipped the script. They're saying, you broke your promises to us, so we're breaking our promises to you. Reason 6, generational shift. Here's something fascinating. Young people in 2025 see debt differently than older generations. For their parents, paying back debt was about honor, reputation, keeping your name clean. But for Gen Z and millennials, they grew up watching corporations declare bankruptcy, billionaires dodge taxes, and governments bail out big business. So they ask, why should I play fair when nobody else does? For them, refusing to pay debt isn't shameful. It's logical. The bigger picture. Now, does this mean everyone should stop paying their debt? Of course not. Debt has consequences: damaged credit scores, legal action, financial stress. But if we ignore the reasons behind this growing refusal, we miss the bigger story. People aren't just being reckless, they're reacting to a broken system. The truth is, until wages rise, until housing becomes affordable, until financial systems start working for people instead of against them, this wave of refusal will keep growing. Let me leave you with this. A man once told me, "When I stopped paying my debt, I finally felt free. Not rich, not successful, but free. And that was worth more to me than a clean credit report." That sentence stuck with me, because it shows what this is really about. Not money, but dignity. So the next time you hear that someone refused to pay their debt, don't just assume they're lazy or irresponsible. Remember, behind that decision, there's always a story. And that's why in 2025, more and more people are refusing to pay their debt. It's about survival, protest, burnout, strategy, broken promises, and a new way of thinking about money. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon on for more videos.